All right. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Happy Monday. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world today. Give me one moment. Okay. Yeah, now that's better. I like that lighting better. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world today. Thank you for joining us this evening for Wealth Talk, about 2 minutes late. So we're talking about wealth and becoming financially in shape and providing some background. Let's just go to the notes here so that I don't waste your time or my time. We can get through this quite easily. Okay. All right. We're looking at income, health and safety, environment, agriculture, opportunity, and resources. We're looking at individuals, families, communities, and society, right? And I share with you guys something from Dr. Claude Anderson's book, Powernomics, where he talked about thinking outside the box. Sorry, while I'm fumbling around a little bit here, looking for, okay, here it is, where I wanted to start from this evening. Thinking outside the box. Remember, I did the dot thing, and of course, I still needed more work, but I never once said that I was perfect. I'm I'm admitting that I am still a student. I'm a student of life. I'm a student always constantly growing, learning, and exploring to find out more about this life that we live in. I hope to never stop learning, as learning is a big part of my life. It has been thus far. So I'm hoping that it continues. And he was talking about thinking outside of the box in order for, like, okay, let me see. Trying to ad-lib it and remember a little bit, because I am going to read to you tonight. It started off with saying, it has been said that the epitome of madness is to do the same thing over and over while fully expecting things to somehow change. So, in other words, the problems that we have as a people, as a nation, as a society, as a community, as a whole, there's some disparities, there's some disadvantages. We talked about Dr. Claude Anderson. He breaks down the history of economics, right? And how the origin of it. So if this is the problem, this is the solution. And he's saying, think outside the box, go outside of the parameters. Don't just stay within the problem. You have to come out of the problem in order to come back in and solve the problem. It's my short, brief synopsis of that. So I wanted to read this to you guys. I don't want to lose that because I need that. It's called Following the Majority, and it's from the book Powernomics. So please go to powernomics.com. There is a whole packet that you can purchase. Go there and package and buy the collection of the books to have it in your library collection for your family. The following the majority. So let me start here. The premises of our social democracy set the stage for a majority population to dominate and direct. But these special rights and privileges for the majority come with some special obligations. According to the Federalist Papers, which prompted the ratification of the US Constitution, the majority rules, but has an inherited obligation to address the needs and interests of its losing minority population. This obligation is emphasized when the nation has a planned permanent minority. Since the majority society has clearly failed to include the needs and interests of its Black minority population, and its interests are not reflected in the nation's laws, customs, and public policies. It is incumbent upon Black Americans not to blindly follow the majority society. The majority society's need and interests cannot be placed above those of Black minority. Playing to win as a team means Black America ought to set its own course rather than continuing to follow a game plan contrary to its own best interests. When a group is in last place with a society, if it continues to follow the pack, it will remain in the last place. Playing a game of follow the leader calls to mind a sled team of dogs. Only the lead dog determines direction and sees a changing dog and sees a changing dogs. Only the lead dog determines direction and see a changing view. The hind dogs see only the rear end of the dog that is ahead. As long as they stay in the harness and follow the line, the hind dogs will never see where the sled is heading or be able to change direction. The dogs locked in the rear guarantee that the lead dog will arrive first and get the praise and the comfort knowing that he is still leading. The hind dog only gets the satisfaction of knowing that what he sees every day will never change. As we shift into an empowerment mode, we are shifting from the perspective of the hind dog to the mindset of the lead dog, who can choose a new way. As we wiggle out of the harness and outside the box, it must always be clear that we will no longer have to follow the lead of majority society. And I chose that today as last night we were talking about, I don't want to lose my pages. I got all kind of stickies and notes where I just flip flop back and forth in different things. Yesterday evening we talked about the family, right? We talked about risk factors of the family, and I shared with you all some of the risk factors that was in my family. Incarceration, substance abuse, mental health, single parenthood, all of the things that affect us as a people, African Americans. I'm not saying that only African Americans are in that category. I'm just saying that for me, that was my category, and I just happen to be African American. And these were some of the challenges that I had to overcome, as well as raising these children. And my responsibility was to raise them up right so that they could develop ideas for themselves and learn how to go out and create a life for themselves. And I too am the blame of teaching them to get a good education and get a job, because that's what I was taught. That's what I knew. And I did it for a very long time. And it's a topic that my son and I would constantly debate back and forth. And I would always joke with him and I would say, you really need to figure out what it is that you want to do so that you can go on and be your own boss, because we saw things differently. And because I came from my background of having two parents that worked and took care of home, we were cared by our grandparents while they were working. That's what I grew up knowing, to, respect my elders, go to school, learn as much as I can, because once I obtain the information that's up in here, nobody can take that away from me. And that information helped me to broaden my horizons. It expands my view and vision of the world. And through different opportunities through various jobs that I had, it opened up other opportunities for me to be able to get with different groups of people from other parts of New Jersey, the surrounding Camden County area and New Jersey, and meet with them and look at our schools and the curriculums and how they were managing them or not managing them, looking at our parks, our communities, our neighborhoods, communities, with because Dr. Claude Anderson says that we don't have communities, we have neighborhoods, because we do not own too much of anything that's in our communities, pretty much. Other nationalities come in and they open up stores and we patronize them. But how much do we really have, right? So my journey going to work and going to school, having the experience of being a part of Neighborhood Leadership Initiative and meeting with people from all around the New Jersey area and seeing how in our inner cities, although they look different, we suffer the same ills, we suffer the same problems. And we got together to try to figure out how to do that. We also learned how to write proposals towards what it is that we wanted to correct. And that was a very interesting journey. And then as I grew more and was able to expose myself to more, getting involved in the school, in my children's education, being an actively involved parent, that gave me another broadened experience to broaden my horizons on learning how the educational system actually runs, what is the process, what do they actually offer to our families, and what is accessible to our families. And seeing how not many of the families took advantage because of the fact that they had the work. You can't take care of your kids if you can't provide the income, right? So along that journey, and then having the experience of landing a dream job that I wanted. I wanted to work with children and families, and I was doing it in other areas of my job, of other careers that I had, other jobs that I had. But I finally got the so-called dream job that I wanted. And then when I realized that even the dream job has its ups and downs, and it has a possibility that it may not be there, for whatever reason. I landed upon MIST, multiple income streams technology. I didn't know very much about it, but the more I learned and the more I educated myself on it, and actually implementing what I learned and seeing that doing this, taking the steps, taking the time, doing the steps, I got results. And when you first get the results, you get excited, but then it's like, wow, how can I do this again? Right? So making it consistent is a struggle for a lot of network marketers, business owners, building that momentum, getting your name, your brand, your services, your products out to the consumers, the people that you want to service, the people that you want to help, can be challenging. And you face a lot of rejection in the beginning. A lot of people will question you over and over again, different things to test you. And sometimes you may feel doubtful, fear. You feel the feelings of rejection because they ask you questions, but they don't purchase your product, or they don't purchase your product, or they don't join you in the journey. But yet they have a lot of questions. And they'll even come back and they'll say, oh, well, are you still doing, that business stuff that you're doing? Yeah. Oh, well, how's that going? It's going well. That's all I can say to them. It's going well. Like I say, I've done everything. I've gone to school and I got the job that I wanted. I've never had a job that I didn't like. I don't believe in doing things that you don't enjoy doing. I mean, because going to work should be fun, right? It should be. The day goes by so much more better if you enjoy what it is that you do. So, as during that process, I'm still doing what I love, but I was growing me in the same process as I was building. And I'm still building. And as I was building, I felt myself going through changes, physiological changes, not so much changes that you can see on the outside, but I'm sure they probably showed somewhere on the outside, but changes that took place on the inside. The fear started to dwindle down because I was building my confidence by implementing things and taking the steps and doing what I needed to do. And as the confidence was building, so was my creativity. So was the ideas that were popping in my head. They were popping like hot fire, because that's what working on you does. When you're building something for you or working towards something for yourself to help you to be sustainable, so that when the winds of life come, that you can withstand it, your creative juices get to flowing. And the whole time I'm building, I'm having to pull myself back because I want to say the synergy of the experience was so exhilarating that the stimulus and response I had was to go in deeper and go deeper and go deeper. And then going deeper, all types of possibilities started coming out. Fashion designer, creating something. I actually do own a sewing machine. And I sew just a little bit. But different things like that start playing around in your head. Then the reality sets in of this is what you're building is really real. And I was blessed to take advantage of Leata's entrepreneurship program, which teaches you how to build a business. It helps you write your business plan. It tells you all the things, licensings and things that you will need for your business. What else did I learn? Oh, it actually tells you how to how to map out your profit and cash flow for your business. But cash flow is is profit made is hard, right? Hard to get it, but it is achievable. But the cash flow to run the business continuously so that you can reach the cash flow. Now that might take a little bit more learning. It might take a little bit more savvy and or resources, monetary resources. And starting out in business, unless that was your goal and you really actually saved and you had this excess money laying somewhere to do it, most of us, we start out in a deficiency. So that led me to take my financial information a little bit more serious, because as a business owner, there's certain obligations that you're responsible for. There's taxes that you pay for the services that you render based off of how much you earn for the year. And taxes can be filed yearly or they can be filed quarterly. And that's based upon the type of business that you may begin to start. Now, also, when you're creating a business, there's an opportunity that there's a very great chance and opportunity that you are going to begin generating wealth at some point, or income, not wealth, but income from that particular business, product, or service that you are rendering. You must be mindful that anything for the state of New Jersey, now, if you live in another part of the world, another state, another country, you need to identify a tax person, tax accountant, to give you information as far as tax laws, policies, and things of when you need to file. Safe and Sound Stewards is an accounting company here in Camden, New Jersey. You can look them up, and I'm sure Jamal would love to give you information. I believe he's in one of these groups here because I did interview him. So he's a tax professional that can help you if you're considering looking at, what the rules are. Should you be in business, or if you're not in business and you just want to get your taxes done, the young man can help you do that as well. But you want to get some type of financial advisement, and as far as starting out in business, it's going to help you. And we talk about ensuring that your personal finances are in order as well. Because what good is it if you're running a business if you can't keep the lights on and everything going in your own home, right? So it all has to balance out: business finances, personal finances, and the tax legalities and all that. It's important when you're starting out in business. The one thing that I enjoyed about when I started out in business is the first thing that they always tell you is that when you sign up and you decide that this is what you want to do, whatever it is that you decide to get into, it doesn't matter. And even it doesn't matter what you get into. At some point, you are going to have to become the face of your business. And I can't tell you, and I was guilty of it at first when I started out too, because I was a little ashamed. I was a little embarrassed. I think I was more afraid of losing my job, because it's like, oh, wow, I got into this. I didn't know it was going to require so much of coming and actually talking to people, actually building a curriculum to try to educate people on what it is that we do and how we do it and how we make it through all the challenges that may come our way. But still in all, I had all those feelings like, I don't want nobody to know what I'm doing. If people know, they might want to talk, they might talk about me. But then there's a point where who cares what other people think? If you're doing something to better you, it's all about you, right? And you're eventually going to have to do what you need to do if you plan on completing the adventure and expanding it, right? So first things first, if anyone decides to begin their business, I'm here to tell you, don't be ashamed to put your face up there and say that you're a business person. It doesn't matter, it's your first day of business. You got to learn it. And guess what? Over time, you're still going to be learning. There's going to be updates, different policy changes, different changes that goes on. We talked about that this morning, the importance of, not so much of getting in the political arena, but at least knowing what's going on in the political arena, because what happens there is going to impact you as an individual, your family, your community, society as a whole, overall. So you want to make sure that you face that fear and put your face out there and stand up. You don't want to hide. The sooner you do it, the better you get it over with. It's like getting a shot, you know what I mean? Just once you get the needles done and over with, it's over with, right? Another process of starting was actually getting started, and understanding how to start, because there's so much information to obtain in the beginning. And that's why you'll see the different posts that say, work in silence and let your work speak for you, because there is a lot of training that is required unless you already come with some background knowledge in whatever it is that you are deciding to choose, right? So if you're like me, new, don't know nothing about nothing, just wanting to try something to see if it works, and then finding out it works, and then realizing like, I'm really going to have to do something with this, and take the steps that it takes to build yourself as well as build your business. And when you starting out, that's the best time to not only learn about your business, but it's a good time to begin starting some self-development, working on your mindset, how to plan, how to set goals, and learning all the other things that come down the pike too. You're not only going to learn your business, the products and those services that you're going to render, you're going to learn social media marketing, what social media platforms you can use, because there's several, there's not just one, there's plenty of social media platforms, and many of us use them. So if you don't see someone, say someone starts out on Facebook, right? And you were seeing them on business. A lot of times when you see them disappear from Facebook, we may assume that that person's no longer in business, but that don't assume that, because it just means that they just switched another platform. Maybe they found a platform that worked better for them and helped leverage their business to get the results that they were looking for. So there's you selecting your social media platform, then there's building your social media platform, is where I say that you will become the face of your business. So you will have to create your business page. And you want to make sure that in your bio, you tell a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and how you can help them, right? And your postings should reflect a little bit of your business, a little bit of who you are as a person, because you are human, you're not a bot, right? It's like those things when you get it, the text messages say, and you fill it out and say, can you check this box and make sure that you're human, you're not a bot. So you want people to know that you're not a bot. You want them to know that you are human. And once you set up your social media page, put your professional picture on there, you by yourself, because unless you're in business with others, then I guess all of you could be on there, or you decide to create a logo and use that logo as your business identification mark. Then you're going to set up your social media marketing. You're going to learn how to run social media ads. You're going to learn from an organic perspective as well as the paid perspective. And we talked about that because the paid perspective will provide you more reach and get you, at least it'll get you seen, it'll get your company seen across spaces that organic, probably you will get that same reach organically, but just know that it's going to take you some time. But if you have time, do it organically. I did both. I do organic and I do paid. So that's part of some of my testing skills, because one thing I've learned since I've been in business, everything is a test. You're testing everything that you're doing. You're testing your content that you're using. You're testing to see which social media ads get the best results for the bang for your buck. You're testing to see how much engagement your content is getting, and how fast you can grow your followers, your communities, to get down to business, to start serving those that are coming to you for your product and or business services that you provide, right? Now, with the social media training, what else do we get? You're always going to have to go back into your back office of your business and always look back there for updated trainings, refresher courses. You can go back and re-watch the trainings that were there because you may pick up something that you didn't see the first time, right? So that always helps, because I remember I shared with you that if you come and you decide to join and you are in a training, please, please, please do not leave that training thinking that you got it all. I've been a part of what I've been a part of for quite some time, and I still learn from every training that I attend. There's conferences available to you. There's in-person and virtual trainings available to you. Now that the pandemic is over and we're all starting to get out a little more, you'll probably see more live events taking place. There's a few conventions. I think we have a convention coming up in, oh shoot, I forgot. I know there's a few conventions coming up. There's some conferences coming up. There's some virtual and in-person events coming up. And I believe I posted them all. If I didn't, I'm gonna go back and check my social media page to make sure that I have that information out there for you, in case you like to come and see for yourself in person and see what's going on. I know in the beginning for me, it was like, is this real? Is this really real? And yeah, it's real. Thousands of us are working every day towards building a legacy for our families. We are improving our knowledge on the difference between income and wealth. We are learning how to build wealth. And like I said before, when you come into the group, when you come into the fold, or whatever it is that you decide, please do not put the pressure on your leader, mentor, coach to provide you everything that you need. And I say this why? Not that they're not capable of providing you that, because they're more than capable of providing you that, especially if you are tight. You write your stuff down, you don't waste their time, you make do, you make that time work that they have, that they give you. You come with your stuff prepared, you're going to leave there with some gems. You are not going to leave lost and looking for more. But sometimes along the journey, I found for me that there was more. I was craving more. It was something on the inside of me. I'm getting the training, but there was another piece to it that I needed, and that was the self-development piece. How was I going to handle all of this information, right? And how is it going to impact and implement my life? Maybe really take some time to really look and see what it was that I wanted out of life. And it made me think about exactly how much more do I need to create, to generate, to meet my dreams, goals, right? So, okay, it's a little bit of space up here. So we're going to say your goal is 250K. You want to be making that what? Depends. You can make it a week, a month, year. Imagine doing it every day, daily. What type of work would you have? What type of work ethic would you need to meet this criteria, and how close? Because we're going to use the 250K as a goal. That's where we're trying to get to, right? So what steps, what would you need to do to get there? How close can you get to it? How much of the 250K can you actually obtain through your time, energy, efforts, and sharing with others? You have to allow yourself time. You have to go through some of the different changes that you may go through, right? Because one, people probably like, okay, I'm gonna use myself. I can't do an analogy if I don't use myself. People didn't know who I was. They didn't know me to be doing business. They knew me as most people know me as a mom. They know me as someone that goes to work. So never not someone that's like doing something in terms of business, servicing a population community in the aspect of a job, and then servicing and impacting your community as a business owner, two different perspectives. In the beginning of and I think I'm still in the phase, in the beginning of building the business, I came in with an employee mindset. You show up, you figure they tell you what you're gonna do, you get your job description, so right, so to speak. They tell you what to do or whatever, and you still have that mindset. Like when you go to work, somebody, you have to report to somebody. Well, in business, you reporting to you. You have a mentor, coach, leader that is there to guide you along the way and help you out as you're implementing what you're taught. And at some point, the information that you take in, you're going to begin to generate your own thoughts. You're going to generate your own ideas and begin to start testing those as well. As long as you're in compliance, guys, stay in compliance. If you should fall out of the lines, be graceful, admit your mistake, and do better the next time. Try not to do it, but thinkers is what you become. You begin to not so much rely on your leader, but you start relying on yourself. You start thinking about, where do I really want to take my business? How many people can I actually help if I master this thing and make it successful? So then that makes you broaden your horizons as to the business that you're in. The business vehicle you're driving right now may just be the car that's taking you to the destination, or where the overall business that you want to do, that is going to allow you to impact yourself, your family, your community, and society as a whole. Your idea may come up, you may create something that could help the world or help somebody in the world, right? So being able to critically think and problem solve through your process is a must, I have to say. Unless you just want to come and be a bot and you just want to do what somebody else is telling you the whole time. But as a business owner, at some point, you should begin to start thinking as a business owner. And when I tell you, you get around the leaders and coaches and mentors and your peers, and just feel the synergy when we're all together, creativity pops, because we are all there, like I say, for a common goal, to help as many families and individuals that we can with our products and or services that we offer. But we also have our own goals and dreams as well. And many of us are dipping and dabbing in those areas too. So we get to bounce ideas off of each other, and whatever little knowledge we do have to share, we share that. And if you can, with peer-to-peer counseling, process with somebody where you are, what you're going through, because life is going to happen on life terms. And if you're someone that has that, I don't want to say, what is it? I don't know, like a dependency, like you need somebody, you're going to always feel frustrated, because the reality is timing might not be right. Things might go awry, and a lot of things that you're being taught, you're going to have to learn how to do them yourself and perfect it. And the way I'm wired is I'm one that once I hear a certain, I don't want to say directive, but I guess it's a directive when your leader or your coach calls a play, and they say, today, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do XYZ. Today, this is going to be our runs for the day of exposures. I'm one that as soon as I hear it, I begin starting it. And that's good and it's bad, because it's good because I'm not procrastinating. So I'm not hesitating. I'm moving now. I'm taking action steps now, but taking those action steps now means I fumble a lot. I fumbled a whole lot. I was inconsistent a lot of times. I would start out with great momentum, and then the whole process that you go through of talking to the people that you meet on the street, talking to your friends and families, letting them know about the services, going out in your community and surrounding areas. Sometimes you have to get outside of the box and go elsewhere and try to establish relationships to let them know about your fabulous services and or products that you have, right? Everyone's not always peachy keen and receptive the very first time. And it may take a couple times. It may take some relationship building before someone actually decides to join you and come with you. And when you go through that process after being told no, or somebody saying they're going to catch up with you and follow up, or, oh, I'm going to do this on this day, and they don't, I don't want you to be discouraged. I don't want you to lose sight. And that's where personal development really helped me a whole lot, because it took my mind off of the product and their services that I offer. I already know they're good. They're helping so many people to put themselves in position to win for 2023 and beyond. And that's a choice. That's a choice we all have. We all live our own lives. You have to know what it is that you want and where you want to go. And through personal development, I learned that my hopes and my dreams is what I should be chasing, because it's what makes me happy on the inside, and something I would do whether I got paid for it or not. Of course, my phone's always ringing. It'll stop in a few minutes and I'll check it in a little bit because we're almost wrapping up. Hope it's nothing important. When you're going through that growth process of starting your business, speaking with people, sharing the information that you have, possibly having small little meetings in your home, get-togethers, have a chat and chew luncheon, something like that. You may do all that and still walk away with no one. So I don't want you to get discouraged. I want you to know that your future is within you, and that God's will for your life is within you. So everything that you have within you is going to help you to become a success in life. And if no one joins you, it's okay, because what are the benefits that you are going to get out of it? You're going to learn financial literacy. You're going to put yourself in a better position and raise your credit score. You're now going to go from the poor to fair to excellent and superb credit, right? Because I heard something about a 900. So now an 850, oh boy, got some work to do, but it's okay. I just want to know what it is to be there. Um, I don't think my life is going to change much, maybe a little. Uh, and maybe also through the process, I learned that maybe I need to dream a little bigger, right? Maybe if I allow myself to dream a little bigger, I might see bigger things. But for the most part, I just want to live a happy life and help those that I can along the way. And should we develop a relationship and a connection and stay in touch, cool. If we don't, it's okay too. I'm blessed to have met you or our paths crossed. And if we're worth any grain of salt, we'll leave an impression on each other, right? So, as you're growing through and growing your business, your self-development is going to help you to discover who you are, where you really want to go in life, and what is the really thing that really makes you happy on the inside. And if generally helping people makes you happy, then you'll be fabulous. You have nothing to worry about, but when you're setting your goals in life and in business, just know that that goal is the benchmark and that there's going to be steps that you're going to need to take to get there. And economics is part of that. No matter what we do in this world, I don't care anything that we do, it's going to involve economics. Now, everything doesn't involve economics to a level, but it does. Because even going to the park, somebody is paid to clean that park to make sure that when you go to the park that you're not in a whole lot of mess, right? So there's an economic cost there. Somebody cleans the park, the upkeep of the park, and the streets or whatever. So just know that economics is always working, and you want economics to work in your life. You want to be on the side where you are able to exercise and maximize your economic power so that you can not only help yourself, but you can help others. Because it's all about relationships, and together we are more powerful than we are separate. Do we have a lot of things to work through and get over? Yes, we do, because I shared with you guys last night some of the effects of adverse childhood experience. And we talked about how the adverse childhood experience, along with your personal life experience, can impact you, right? And we talked about how health issues can impact you as well. So then if you then put that individual in an environment that is not a growth environment, that is toxic, has very little to offer, we're probably going to get some interesting things out of it, right? Although we've come a long way, we still have so much more further to go. But until we decide to come together and work together towards one common mission and take care of our own first, and then start helping others, we're going to constantly keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And I don't know about you, but last year kind of showed me that I don't want to repeat things over and over again. I was already on 10 trying to help, not so much trying to help people to change their lives, but always having conversations with my young people, asking them, what do you want to do with yourself? Where you're working? If you're not working, you ever think about starting a business? Something that you could do right from your phone? And a lot of people, they don't take you up on it. I got a lot of different feedback that I can utilize in my research through this process that I'm going through. But it's no one really, they all have, I don't want to say that they're not interested. I'm going to say they have their own concept and ideas of how they're going to create their income. And You can't change somebody's mind once they've made it up. So I don't try to change minds. I just try to live by example. And should I come past an application somewhere, I might print it out and bring it to you. You know what I mean? Or if there's some information or opportunity that I'm aware of, you guys know, I'll post it. I'll tell somebody, because each one teach one, we got to help each other. But as we're reaching down to pull people up, you also have to be reaching up to want to go up. Because if I'm reaching down and you're trying to pull me down, I'm going to have to let you go. And that's just the God's honest truth, because I don't want to go down. I've been there, done that. I've been through my life challenges, and I know that up is the best place to go. And I know I've learned over time the importance of economics, having enough wealth to navigate through some life challenges. And had I not listened along the way to some of those that knew more than me about starting an account with the credit union, having your own banking and checking and savings account, investing in your 401k, or whatever they call it now, the Roth IRA, whatever the retirement plan is. Some jobs offer them, some jobs don't. It was through all those things I listened, but I also implemented, because I told you, right, when I hear something, I try it. I want to try. I want to see if it works. So that's why this year is just even more monumental, because I've learned a lot from a lot of great leaders. And I still have all the notebooks. Lord knows, God knows, y'all know. Got a notebook everywhere. I need to get organized with it. But I have notes from everyone that I still go back to refresh and implement, because every day I get better and better. It doesn't mean I'm going to be perfect, but every day I'm moving towards my goal. Each step gets me closer. And I'm not going to get closer if I don't apply what they're teaching. what they're putting out there, what I'm reading, all of this, all of it all plays a part in your life, and you developing the life that you want. And the only way you're going to get that life is if you go after it. This evening there's going to be a wealth talk business overview. Those of you that are in the Gain Financial Literacy and Win in Life group, that post probably should have just posted about maybe 10 minutes ago. And if you're interested in coming and hearing the information, hearing stories of how people have taken their business and excelled it to the point that where they now run their business on their own. They no longer work their job and work a business. They actually have developed and successfully got their business up and off the ground. Feel free to come in and join us. And again, I'm going to request those in the Gain and Financial Literacy group, because of the fact that I dropped that post into the group, because that's what that group is for. You're actually in training in that group, whether you know it or not. And I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to train you. But you have to make a commitment. You have to make a decision. You have to make a commitment, and you have to decide to invest in you and take the steps to begin. But when you come to the Wealth Talk Overview Business Meeting, training meeting tonight, I want you to log in, mute your microphone, go to the chat, say Hello to everyone, and let us know where you are tuning in from. And if you are from the Gain Financial Literacy group and Winning Life, please make that note in there. That way I'll know where that someone is listening to me, hearing me. And if you're not, that's cool too. I'm gonna be hanging out in there too as well, because that's what I do. Each time I come, I hear something different that helps move me to the next level. So I will continuously stay in training and trying to grow myself and better myself in the area of financial literacy, because it's very important. Money isn't everything, but it's like the air we breathe. And if you're in a situation now where you're struggling and you only have one source of income, I would think it's be worth a try to at least go in and give it a listen. You can at least hear the information, think about it. Many of us do. I didn't join right away, neither. It took me some time to figure it out, but it wasn't because I was debating whether or not I was going to join. I was debating, looking at my finances and seeing which pay period, where was I going to be able to initiate and do the payment, because I definitely knew I needed it. It was a no-brainer for me. I needed it. And it has been the best investment that I've made thus far, along with some other ones, but we'll talk about those later. But for tonight, I want to thank you for your time and allowing me to come and disrupt your evening this evening. And I want you to think about your economic status. How well are you economically integrated in your life? And are you teaching your children how to be more wiser economically? We shared last night about inflation going up, rates going up. We talked about the disparities that we were having, as how the inflation is impacting food distribution and other things of that nature, as well as our health care. So it's up to you guys. I come to spread the news and let you know that you are a winner. From the time you were conceived in your mother's womb, you were born with all that you need to become a success. And ladies and gentlemen, go out there and be awesome. Let the world know who you are. And take your share of the 250K. What share, how much, what share of this can you get for yourself? Okay. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the meeting. Bye-bye. See you in the overview. Good night. Thank you for joining. Okay. All right, YouTube, thank you for joining. See you in the webinar. Uh-oh, wait a minute. I always get this wrong some kind of way. Okay, here we go. Bye-bye now. Have a wonderful